looked at you crazy. For me, I started having issues like when my arm would lock up and I couldn't straighten it, or my foot would get so swollen that it wouldn't fit in the shoe. And I went to so many doctors, and a lot of people didn't believe. They just kind of thought, okay, she's a teenager, she's just having a little teenage conversation, and I could be a drama queen on age. You know, maybe they thought it was that, but they referred me to a rheumatologist. The first thing the doctor who referred me to, he said, well, I'm not saying that you have it, but he's a good friend of mine, has a lot of equipment, and he will be able to figure out exactly what's going on. So my appointment was on the following Wednesday. That Thursday and Friday, I started getting these little red spots all over my body, and it just kept multiplying each day. And I'm like, what's going on? I asked my mom, and my mom was like, hey, we have, the appointment next Wednesday, so we'll know what's going on then. Just don't get worked up. And so I was like, okay, well, my mom's okay. I'll be okay. That Tuesday, I was supposed to go to cheerleading practice. And I was so exhausted that I just said, Mom, I'm gonna go home and take a nap. I woke up and I had blood ulcers all throughout my mouth. So of course, as a teenager, I freaked out. I called Mom, I was like, Mom, you gotta get home, I don't know what's going on. She called the doctor, and he said, bring her in first thing in the morning instead, because my appointment was supposed to be like at noon or 1 that day. They brought me in, they did one tube of blood work. I got admitted to the hospital right then. At that moment, we found out I had lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. So for my parents, I can only imagine how they felt, one, because they had no clue what lupus was. They really had to go in fast mode to learn what lupus was, what rheumatoid arthritis was, but also how to hold me up. Because in my head, I was thinking, oh, I don't have to go to school today, hey, I was excited. It wasn't until when they started doing all the paperwork and I had to go through the process of being admitted, where they started, poking and prodding me, and it was like needle after needle after needle. It wasn't until then I was like, okay, maybe this is a lot more serious than I did. But again, my parents were calm, cool, and collected. I would have never known that my situation was as serious as it was because how they handled it. And we give all that credit to God because, I hear, all of you parents, and you guys sound just like my parents. When they didn't know how and they didn't know how to talk to the doctor, that's who they went to. They went to God. They